wax poetic about Phil Foden because we're going to title this Foden Changes Everything because I think that's really the truth. So I'm giving you the stage to talk about Mr. Phil Foden.
Yay. Yeah, you guys know my my love for Phil. He's been one of our guys for the past 7 years. Um, I don't know. I think I just have a lot of fans have a special attachment to him for what he means to the club, and it was hard to see that last season. But he's clearly back. Um, Whether you want to just say it's the eye test or what his coach is saying or what he's coming out and saying in the press conferences, he he looks like he's back. This is vintage Foden stuff to me that he won the PFA for, where he leads the team when someone like Haaland can't get a goal. He opened up the scoring in the first minute. He closes out the game with a game-winning goal in one of the dying minutes in the extra time. I know it was like 10 minutes, but um, I don't know. It just says a lot about him. I don't even think I have much to say on his performances because outside of the Newcastle game, I think he's been performing at this level. And it was just about time for him to get these G&A on the board. But just what he means to the club and his commitment to the club is, I don't think we can replace it. And it's super important. Uh, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's the heart of the team. Grant, you and me had talked about Mr. Phil Foden quite a bit last season, and we had our say since we're rivals. But go ahead, your turn to talk about Foden.
Yeah, I think like Mila said, I mean, we've kind of been ahead of the curve in terms of him getting back up to speed in terms of what we expect. Another new role that he's being asked to understand. But again, I think it's another thing we've been saying with Pep where he'll find a solution. It's not like it's just going to be what he's currently has at his disposal. You're going to have to ask more different things out of certain players. That's going to have to be a part of it too. So for him to be able to adapt into this 8 role, I think it's really important. And like also Mila was saying, less more on the performances, but more of we've known that they need someone else to step up that isn't Holland. You can't just have one guy. Again, you'll have Doku chip in, you'll have other guys chip in, but you need to have a second guy that you can also rely on. So Foden needs to continue to hold himself to that standard. He's definitely capable. And if they want to challenge for the title, you're going to have more than just Holland there every week. So Foden to I think it's important, and not saying that he won't, but you have to continue to be that guy. He needs to continue to, like he is doing, to be another guy that can be relied upon to carry that weight on his shoulders. So I think that's really what it comes down to for Foden for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think that his performances change everything. He really is the lifeline of the City side, and I think every team has one where you look at them and you point at them and you go, "That's the guy that gets us over the hump on any given week." Whereas, like, we know the floor is Holland, and right, he gives you whatever he's going to give you. But when you need a win, when your back is against the wall, there is always one player that steps up in these moments. And I think throughout City's run, it was Gundogan for a period. Obviously, KDB did a bunch of stuff there. And then Foden did it at the very end before last season. And this feels like the start of him sparking that again, where in the biggest moments when Manchester City need something, he's the guy there again, where it falls to him. And it's just about him making the shot.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day with him, it's mainly mentality. Like we've heard from multiple sources and himself that the mental was just not there last year. And then I saw quotes about how he was just like he couldn't sleep about the Newcastle misses. He could have got us the 3 points on the day, and then he comes out and does this and leads us to a win. Like you said, I do think he's the heart, and we have a couple of guys that have that, but um, he definitely is the core of it, and he needs to keep going in all aspects, whether it be technically or mentally. I think he can lead us to a very nice season, but we got to stay locked in.
Yeah. That's probably the bigger talking point on the day itself is just being locked in. Because City weren't. And you guys still came away with 3 points, but you do that against a better side on any given day, and you're dropping 3 points.
And that was kind of one more One more thing I had to say on it, Foden definitely does change everything in the attacking sense, but just as importantly, that's not the only thing that needs to be addressed for City to go
Mhm.
on and run away and become champions once again. A lot of it does come down to how easy it is to get at them at times, and like you said, they just weren't locked in, self-inflicted errors. You can get away with it against Leeds at home. Not a lot of teams in the league that you can get away with it, so that's also something that'll come with more time together, the back line. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. Still multiple things to be addressed, but they're definitely capable.
For City, for me, it's how quickly can they get Rodri back, right? Like Rodri also is just the kind of the base. I'm not expecting him to play every week, but from a
No, I
if you
know.
can get him to if you can get him to play all the Prem games, right? Like this is usually where City kind of weather the storm and then they go on a run of like 14 unbeaten,
And I
right?
think
That's
I think that's still the plan.
right.
I know I talk about it a lot, but January, February is usually when we kick into gear. This next month is gonna be super tough for all Prem teams. There's so many
Mhm.
fixtures, and we just have to hold on, keep everyone alive, and walk away with a good amount of points. Doesn't have to be perfect, because I think every team's gonna drop points in this run. But once we get to January, February, if Rodri is in full gear with the Nico G, and we want to throw Reinders in there, I think this team can change up a lot, um, in terms of just what type of style of footy we want to play if we have Rodri back. Because then we could play a Rodri Nico G that changes up our midfield so much. It
Mhm.
offers so much just control and
Makes you better
power.
physically too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I do understand easing him back in, especially with his difficulties after the
Mhm.
ACL recovery. But I do think it's all part of the plan. Kind of like the Palmer thing, minus the setback. I guess the setbacks are the same. They both
They
have
are the
little
same.
setbacks. Get these guys going though, and the team's completely different, and they're already second and third in the league. So I think it's really exciting to see what Chelsea and City can offer once their talisman come back in the squad.